Hi, I'm Davy, and I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies that I love, the alternative, B-rated, cult-style flicks. And this week, it's time for the sequel to one of the great B-movies out there. This movie was made in 1990, and it was directed by William Lustig, the director of the first movie, written and produced by Larry Cohen, and made by Fad Enterprises, the movie house sales company, Medusa Pictures, and Overseas Film Group, and distributed by Live Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, the follow-up to
Maniac Cop. Maniac Cop.
2. The movie opens with a 2-minute recap, and then we see a guy in a store.
Figure it out.
Yeah, what the clerk figures out is to push the silent alarm. Okay, don't waste food!
I need money.
For a dentist! A cop arrives.
Thank God you got here.
Shouldn't thank God so soon, because that cop is the
Maniac Cop.
See? As far as the robber, he gives the robber back his gun and sends him outside. Which seems weird. Why would he do that?
What a done, man! It was one of you!
That's why. Then we get reacquainted with Teresa Mallory, played by Lorraine Landon, and Jack Forrest, played by Bruce Campbell.
I don't know about you, but I need this job.
By the way, if you ever see Bruce Campbell at like a convention or something, he loves being asked about this movie. Teresa and Mallory have been cleared of the charges from the last movie. However, nobody believes that the
Maniac Cop
was Matt Cordell. So they send the two of them to a police shrink, Susan Riley, played by Claudia Christian.
I cannot let anyone out in the street that's got a gun with emotional problems.
Then we meet Detective Sam McKinney, played by Robert Davy.
Hi.
Hi.
Lieutenant McKinney?
Yeah.
McKinney is seeing Officer Riley over a perpy shot, and, well, he doesn't like seeing the shrink.
Please don't slam the...
Then back to Jack.
No!
No! Bruce Campbell was only in the first 18 minutes! Teresa is shown the body and questioned.
Can you think of anyone with a motive to kill Jack?
I can think of someone. Later, because more killings have happened by the
Maniac Cop.
Teresa decides she's going to go to the media. Susan is going to accompany her. They get in a cab and there's a couple of tires flat. The cab driver goes to change the tires when Teresa notices something. Now a chase! Oh yeah, sparks are flying! At least, until this happens. And the
Maniac Cop
now has Teresa. Then he takes Susan and handcuffs her hand outside of a car to the wheel inside of another car, puts it in neutral and rolls it down the hill. Teresa tries to stop him. But she doesn't. Susan is hanging on for dear life. Well, that's a start. Well, I will say it probably was a little bit better with her being in the car. Later, Susan is in an ambulance, and McKinney comes to question her.
Sean, I saw Matt Cordell.
Then we see a news report about a different serial killer who's targeting strippers. And it turns out the serial killer is watching this news report.
Tonight you'll meet detectives assigned to this case, but first I would like you to...
His name is Turkel, and he's played by Leo Rossi, who played the assistant to the mayor in the first movie. On the same news show, Susan is there, and she brings up Matt Cordell, and the police commissioner is not happy about it.
Cordell's gonna pay you a visit and you'll see him.
Now we go to the hotel room that one of the strippers lives at.
What do you think I'm gonna do to you, huh? Come on! What do you think?
How would somebody not know this guy is a serial killer just by looking at him? While he's attempting to kill her... For God's sakes, Cordell, you've killed enough! Let somebody else have one! A couple police officers arrive. So Cordell makes a break for it and takes Turkel with him. Cordell and Turkel. Tag team.
Oh, you ain't no cop, man.
Duh.
Turkel takes Cordell back to his place and asks his name. And for the first time in either of these two movies, Robert Z'Dar, playing the
Maniac Cop,
speaks. Susan goes to meet with McKinney.
No city's freaked over this Maniac Cop.
2. Back to Turkel, he asks Cordell about what happened to him. And to fill some time in this movie, they show flashbacks of the prison attack scene from the first movie. Susan and McKinney take the stripper that Turkel attempted to kill to a different strip club to see if maybe Turkel will be there and she can point him out.
Lieutenant, it's him.
Success! Now they got one killer. McKinney goes to Turkel's apartment to look for Cordell. But, Cordell's at the police station. His face has gotten worse, and he goes on a tear. Yeah! And he gets to Turkel.
He's got Susan Riley as a hostage on the cell block.
Turkel talks about their plan to go back to Sing Sing.
I ain't going back there.
Well, I think that's what he's got in mind.
And he's taking Clarence Williams III with him. Oh, and they're also taking Susan as a hostage.
You lead the way. If there's any shooting, you'll be the first to know about it.
So they make their way out. McKinney and the commissioner go after them, and McKinney tells the commissioner that he is going to sign a confession.
You murdered him.
Turkel, Cordell, and the guy from Mod Squad get to the prison first. Rude, he was watching something! Outside, the commissioner is addressing Cordell.
Your conviction will be reversed by the state Supreme Court.
A little late for that, don't you think? Cordell goes after the prisoners that cut up his face and nearly killed him in that shower. But they're ready for him. This entire fire sequence scene in the prison took 3 days to film. So he just goes around on fire, killing everyone. During this, though, Turkel gets upset because he thought that they were coming to this prison to build an army and take on the entire police force.
You're never my friend.
To convince Leo Rossi to do this stunt, the director, William Lustig, actually lit his own arm on fire to show him that, yes, you'll be fine. Yeah! Yeah! God, I like explosions! And now...
His remains have been brought here so he may be placed beside his fellow officers.
But is he really dead, though? Yes. Even though he's in the third movie. But we'll get to that later. So there you have it. That's
Maniac Cop.
2. A decent follow-up to the first movie. Not gonna lie, I didn't like that the two characters that we grew some kind of an attachment to in the first movie were pretty quickly taken out in this movie, but it didn't hurt the story. It did actually make sense that if Cordell was alive, he was not going to stop coming after them. Because in the first movie, we did see how when he decided somebody needed to die, his mind was set. Now, I joked a little bit about how Bruce Campbell loves to be asked about this movie. He doesn't. Apparently, during the filming of this movie, he was actually going through a very messy divorce, so he doesn't have fond memories of making
Maniac Cop
2. And he's mentioned on several occasions that if you ask him questions about
Maniac Cop
2 at like a convention or something, he's going to make you pay and insult you. Which, funny enough, a lot of fans don't take that as a bad thing. They go and ask him questions just because they want a Bruce Campbell diss. So do I. Other interesting facts about this movie is apparently William Lustig and Claudia Christian, the woman who played Susan Riley, really didn't get along during this movie. They hated each other. Also, to get financing for this movie, he actually told the financiers that he had already cast Robert Davy to be in this movie to play McKinney, even though he hadn't actually gotten him to sign on yet. But he did sign on, so he got his money, so good for you. Now, as far as my feelings on this movie, like I said, it was a decent follow-up. I definitely wouldn't say that this one is better than the first one. First one is a classic, this one is, again, a decent follow-up. decent. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. I would just say it's pretty good. It's worth watching, especially if you are a fan of the first one. So, on that note, I do recommend that if you like
Maniac Cop.
that you go and check out
Maniac Cop.
2. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos, and leave a comment of your own. Tell me which
Maniac Cop.
movie was your favorite. Love you guys.